McKnight tonight. McKnight tonight.
Wrong again.
McKnight tonight. McKnight tonight.
I've seen that since university.
Funny, insightful interviews from a watchdog to some McKnight tonight. McKnight tonight. McKnight tonight. Here comes McKnight tonight.
Welcome to McKnight Tonight. Now, here's Rob McKnight.
Hello and welcome to McKnight Tonight for this Wednesday, the 20th of August, 2025. So great to have your company. I hope you've had a terrific Wednesday. Not a wine Wednesday or wines day, as some people are suggesting in the comments. Amanda, what do you think? Tipsy Thursday, Wines Day? I guess that's a no, everybody. So I'll just stick to the water. All right, thanks for your company. Guess what? This came across my desk today. So this month, this day falls in as part of this. It's part of Tradies National Health Month in Australia. So this is a reminder to look after the men and women who keep our country running. I love this idea. From long hours to tough conditions, it's a chance to shine a light on their health and well-being. So yeah, our tradies, we love that. We love that. Thank you to all our tradies who keep the country running. And remember, you can always catch up on past episodes or highlights of what we're doing here at McKnight Tonight just by going to our YouTube page, youtube.com/@McKnightTonight. That's youtube.com/@McKnightTonight. And what I love, we have built a community here. Everybody's online and almost an hour before the show, talking to each other, seeing how each other are. And it's great. Go and be part of the community. youtube.com/@McKnightTonight. All right. Coming up tonight, terrifying attacks as so-called killer dogs terrorise Sydney's inner suburbs. Plus, the ketamine queen pleads guilty in the Matthew Perry case. And in Rob's rant, thumbs up fatigue and the death of the simple hello. All right, let's get into our hot topics. And it's a sad day for our kids as the Australian government turns its back on some of our most needy. In fact, Labor need to hang their head in shame. You see, there's a major revamp of Australia's disability support as the NDIS faces extraordinary cost pressures. The cost of the scheme is now $48.5 billion this financial year, with forecasts placing it at $52 billion next year. Now, this is more than defence spending, and it's expected to rise even further by the end of the decade if we continue on this course. So, to rein in runaway growth, once peaking at 22% annually, the Albanese government has announced a sweeping reform. Children with mild to moderate autism or developmental delays will be transitioned out of the NDIS and into a new program called Thriving Kids, set to roll out from mid-2026 to mid-2027. So the aim is to reduce the NDIS growth rate to a sustainable, what they call a sustainable 4 to 6% per year. That would get it down from the around 8% we're at now. And they're doing that by shifting early intervention responsibilities to mainstream services like schools, GPs, and community providers. So disability reform experts, they're warning that while projected reforms could save billions, clarity is needed to ensure children are not left without suitable support during the transition. And that's the point. You know, I've been online, I've been watching the news services and trying to get across this. So this happened, Mark Butler gave an address at the National Press Club today and dropped this bombshell. Now, look, we know that there have been issues with the cost of the NDIS. Sure. I'm really concerned, though. They say, well, we're spending more on NDIS than defence. I couldn't care about that. I don't care. And I know there's going to be a lot of commentators saying, oh, it's all a rort, you know, like people using the NDIS and all that kind of stuff. I think it's all just crap. For the few rorters that there are a lot of people who need this service. I'm really worried that we're now getting them to a system that is not even going to have, they haven't even designed it yet. What's it called? Thriving Kids, was it? I'm just trying to find it here. Thriving Kids, thank you. So it's called Thriving Kids, hasn't been designed, but part of what they're trying to do is get states on board to it. And the thing about this for kids on the spectrum is that they need help to be able to live a normal life, right? So the whole idea of the NDIS is about, yes, for people with who are really who have big disabilities, just trying to get them through day to day. But for kids on the spectrum, what they try to do is teach them how to survive tomorrow and give them the learning skills and the day to day skills so that they don't become a burden on the welfare system going forward. It's actually a fantastic system. They get life skills. So, what we're going to do here is say these kids, there are kids out there that are going to struggle in life. But instead of helping them, we're going to put them onto these programs that we're not putting as much money in. We're expecting the states to stump up some cash, and they're not going to get the same amount of support. They just possibly can't. We are going to be leaving kids behind. And if you're so worried about how much money we are spending on the NDIS, why don't we look at the causes of what's going on? Mark Butler acknowledged that people on the spectrum was going up. Why is that? Why is that happening? Is it because of what's in our foods, what's all around us? You know, our labelling laws in this country are a joke. So many things that we don't know are in our food slip through the system because they're grouped in with other things. There is so much wrong with the basics of what we do. We don't know what we're eating half the time. So let's start focusing on that. Instead of trying to shift people off because it's costing too money, let's look at solutions. I think this is a sad day for Labor. This is the party that's supposed to care about social issues and helping those who are less fortunate. But they are now making a distinction that even though you are on the spectrum, you are not as worthy of our support as other Australians. I think that's really, really sad. And it's angry. It would make me angry, but I'm more just really sad about it. These are kids that need help. And we're going to push them aside. And these services, which lacks clarity, we don't know what levels of the spectrum. Is it level 1, 2, 3? We don't know what levels are going to go on, but it gets me. Instead of saying, recognizing there's a problem here, they say, oh, the problem's too big. We need to get people off the system. So instead of helping, we're raising the bar so that people don't pass the threshold to be able to get that NDIS funding. What the hell is that? How is that a solution? It's not a solution. It's just trying to sweep it under the carpet. The NDIS is a great system. I have no time for people that attack it. I really don't. The problem is the government didn't realise how big the issue was out there in suburbia. You and I did. We know people. There's people in our lives that rely on the NDIS. I think most of the people watching this would have people that are using the NDIS, and they're not rorting the system. They're not doing the wrong thing by it. They are getting genuine help. This announcement today is a sad day for our country. So while other people might be celebrating and going, about time the government did something, I won't be one of them. I'm just really sad about it. We are letting our kids down.
Here comes McKnight tonight.
Okay, let me know your thoughts on that one. Does it upset you as much as it does me, or do you think I'm overreacting? Just leave your comments in the comments section of this video. I will get to your feedback shortly. All right, let's move on, because there's horror and fear in Sydney at the moment as so-called killer dogs wreak havoc across the inner suburbs. American staffies, pit bulls and other power breeds are behind a surge of brutal attacks in Redfern, Waterloo and surrounding areas. So locals are describing scenes of terror, pets torn apart, people mauled in broad daylight, and families too frightened to walk the streets. Have a look at this video posted on news.com.au. It was captured in Redfern in mid-May as a woman walking with a child and a dog was suddenly attacked. She's about to walk into the frame. There she is. She was suddenly attacked by another dog that was roaming the streets. One woman's assistance dog was so badly injured, it needed 9 separate surgeries. And despite repeated complaints, critics say the City of Sydney has failed to crack down, even after declaring some of these dogs dangerous. Those scenes are scary. It's led to concerned residents to post flyers like this one warning of the dangers. Have a look at that one. Warning, killer dogs. 2 large dogs are killing other pet dogs in this area. The humans involved are allowing this to happen, with the majority of these fun killings happening in Redfern Park. And then there's a call to go to the police. While owners face fines that many ignore, neighbours are left to live in fear. I think this is shocking. Dog owners, some dog owners, most dog owners are responsible, but some dog owners have a lot to answer for. In fact, just out here, outside our garage, a few years ago, my 2 youngest girls were walking our dog. And it was, 5 o'clock? 5 o'clock. And there is a literally open area right across our house. They weren't far away. Anyway, we suddenly start hearing this commotion. And we go outside to see this bizarre scene of a neighbour having to punch this great big dog that was attacking our dog. Our kids had been holding it. This dog had just, what breed was it, Amanda? It was a Staffy. It was a Staffy. Just came out of nowhere and started attacking our dog. And the kids were, they're 13 and 15 now, so they would have been, 10, 12 at the time. And this neighbour saw what was going on and literally just had to come and punch the dog in the face to get it to release our dog. And our dog had to go to the vet. Now, look, the owner took full responsibility, paid for the vet bills, actually put the dog down. Yeah, put it down. He was responsible. He was responsible. And because they'd taken this dog in, they had tried to do all the right things, but it got out. And he did the right thing. But you see that. Now, can you show me that footage again? Because it certainly looks like, if you look at this, it looks like this guy is walking these dogs freely, but maybe he's nothing to do with it. I don't know. But they seem to be walking with him. But when it all goes down, he's nowhere to be seen. He's not coming back. It's this Good Samaritan coming in, a neighbour coming across to help out. That's the good side of our community, isn't it? These dogs have no place, and it has to be a one strike and you're out. You cannot be allowing your dogs to attack people like this. Why isn't the council going out and rounding these dogs up? If they're not on a leash, they're doing the wrong thing. Take them. And I'm sorry, put them down. Because I don't want my kids, my dog, threatened because these assholes are not obeying the law and have no care in the world. It's not good enough. You should be able to go out into your street, and these streets, wherever you live, and walk your dog. That is not a big ask in society, is it? But these dogs are making it unsafe, and they should be put down. They really should. I think I need a drink, Amanda. It's been very heavy, hasn't it? Jeez. Hey, let's mix things up a bit. It's time for Rob's Rant. And I tell you what, it's becoming increasingly obvious that I'm getting old. Look, the world is changing for sure, but it's the new rules that just don't make sense to me. Like this one when it comes to emojis.
Does anyone else get the ick when someone uses the thumbs up emoji with you? Because, oh my God, whenever I receive the thumbs up emoji from someone, I'm like, why? What did I do to you? I will automatically assume that you hate me if you react to my messages or send me a thumbs up. And unless you're a 75-year-old man or woman, you have no excuse. There's no excuse. It's aggressive and it's mean. But seriously, anyone else? It's on the ick list. Anytime I receive a thumbs up, ick. So please, anything but the thumbs up, okay? Thanks.
I use thumbs up all the time. Maybe she's putting me in with that 75-year-olds, but I'm just looking through text now and I use it all the time. I don't know what's wrong with using a thumbs up. Someone says, we'll meet at 6. Thumbs up. What do I need to give to that? Love heart? That's not a love heart reaction. Do I need to write terrific? See you there? What's wrong with the thumbs up? I don't. The things this generation find offense at. Like, seriously, if you're getting offended by a thumbs up, congratulations. It's official. You have no problems. You literally have no problems in your life if this is getting on your goat. Like, there are bigger issues in the world to worry about than someone giving you the ick by giving you a thumbs up. But it's not just the emoji rule. There's also a new way Gen Z answers the phone, apparently. Take a look at this.
When you see this on your phone, what do? If you're like me, you pick it up and you say hello most of the time. However, if you're in your 20s, it turns out that you don't say hello, you don't say hi a lot of the time. In fact, you don't say anything at all. The other day in the US, a recruiter posted about this online, got a huge response because she had noticed that a lot of young people she calls, even at a time of their own arranging, don't say hello or don't say anything at all. They just sit there silently, breathing. She, like me, found this a bit weird.
Yeah, I find it a bit weird too. So hang on, you make a call and the person answers it and just goes, so I'm now expected to go, hello? Is anyone there? Oh, yeah. I mean, that's just bizarre. I mean, and look, this lady goes on to say that some of them are worried about scams and they're like, don't answer the phone. If it's an unknown number or a number I don't recognize, I don't answer the phone. They can go through to voicemail. My voicemail tells them to send me a text, but but do that. This idea of picking up the phone and not saying anything, this generation is just rude. If that's what it's come down to, it's just rude. It's like, have you ever worked in, in an environment that has things like Slack or messaging and something like that, and someone will just type, hello, hi, Rob, and I hate it. It's like, what do you want? And then I'll go, hi? And it's their way of trying to get you in a conversation at their convenience, because you have no idea. Do they want something important, light, or whatever? No, just put, hi, Rob, I've got this issue with A, B, and C, da-da-da-da. And then I'll go, okay, I will deal with that now because it's important, or I'll deal with it later. So I now have a rule. If someone just types, hi, Rob, to me, there's no answer from Robbie. Maybe I am as bad as Gen Z, Amanda. Anyway, that's what's wrong with all the young kids. I think we should wrap up tonight's because that's Rob's rant. Still plenty ahead on this edition of McKnight Tonight. In fact, I'm going to give you a preview of an upcoming Booty and the Beast episode, and I'll tell you how you can access the videos. There's been a whole issue, but the videos are going on YouTube and they are going into your podcast feeds as well, hopefully as of tonight. But I'll give you a bit of a look at what an episode looks like. That's coming up shortly, right after our random live shot of the day.
It's the random live shot of the day. Where are you going today? You'll never know where you'll end up with the random live shot of the day.
And this is a really cool random live shot of the day because tonight we are live in the Arctic city of Kiruna, Sweden, where an extraordinary sight is unfolding. Now, you can't see it just there. Oh, to the left of your screen, that's the 113-year-old Kiruna Church. It weighs 600 tons and it's slowly being transported to a brand new home. The reason? Well, the city is literally sinking with ground subsidence caused by the expansion of the world's largest underground iron ore mine. So over 2 days, the historic wooden church is being carefully moved on a specially constructed trailer. It's all part of a massive 30-year project to relocate thousands of residents and buildings across Lapland. And I'm just hoping we can get the close-up. You're seeing the big drone shot. They've got multi-cameras on this thing. I've been watching it all night. And basically, the mine is underneath the city. And so it's costing the mine over $1 billion to relocate. They're having to pay for the whole relocation. And so this church is going on a 5-kilometre, it's been moved 5 kilometres through, they've had to change the route to go with the areas that it can get through. And I really want to show you, I may come back to it. We might do some feedback and come back to it because it is seriously very, very cool. And there it is, there's the church. And so as you can see, everyone's lining up to have a look. And if we do get another shot, you will see that the whole thing right now is on a truck. It's basically on this huge trailer being transported. How they got it onto the trailer, I have absolutely no idea, but it is very, very cool. Oh, very, very cool, and well worth a look. So we might come back to that and see how it's going. But yeah, that's very, very cool. Now I can see that there is a lot of feedback coming through to McKnight tonight, comma tonight. Bear with me because I'm going to go through it because there's a lot about the NDIS. So let's have a look at what you're saying first of all. And this one from Dylan, I like the idea of Wasted Wednesday. Yeah, Dylan, but then we'll find a reason for another Thirsty Tuesday. And then Moronic Monday or something, I don't know. Over the page we go, and we've got this one. Sorry, I know the NDIS. Sorry. The NDIS is a big cash cow with thousands of teats, and there are a lot of suckers. Restoration Archive, thank you for that. That's certainly true, but that's what the government needs to focus on, taking care of and getting rid of those people and making sure the right people are looked after. Dylan says, I know the NDIS does a good job for so many people, but there are a lot of companies lining their pockets with the money. Just look at all the NDI businesses that have started up. Couldn't agree more. Honestly, Dylan, I could not agree more with that. You've got me 100%, but that doesn't mean we have to stop helping the people that need help. We need to work on getting rid of those people. Yeah? Jeanette says, I agree. There are so many companies. Beck says the NDIS is screwed. Gareth says, earlier this week, Rob was whining about being taxed. Now Rob is acting like the kids are being abandoned. Let's tax the family home and fund kids with autism. I don't think it's as easy as that, Gareth. I think there are ways of achieving both. I don't think the family home should be taxed because that stops people getting ahead. But I don't think our government uses the incoming money properly. And this is all happening because of a budget blowout. There is a budget blowout coming up, and Labor are trying to get it under control. And maybe, just maybe, they're not spending the money on the right things. All right, this one from Matt. Recently, there was a guy in a current affair who admitted being overweight and was on a disability pension for it. I honestly didn't think our system was that broken. Yeah, that sounds broken to me. That does not sound like someone who should be on NDIS. Restoration Archive again. NDIS fraud losses of 1.5 billion plus. That's true. That's not just a few hundred people rorting, Rob. Agree. I will totally cop that. Totally cop that. But again, the kids aren't the ones to punish for that. It's the systems the government have put in place. Why hasn't it been set up properly to stop that kind of rorting? You know, Mark Butler today was whining about there are companies who aren't registered, but they're claiming NDIS. Well, make it a rule that they can't collect NDIS subsidies unless they're part of the system. If that is the problem, change the law. Change the law. Anyway, let's have a look at what Beck's saying, because Beck says, what really angers me about the NDIS, I now have to put our requesting to get OT support, how to change my NDIS support. And that's another thing, Beck. They are making it so hard to navigate the forms and everything that's going on that you need support workers to help you fill out the forms to get the support. There's a lot of problems. So Restoration Archive and everyone else, I'm really not disagreeing with you. I think we just have a difference of opinion on how to fix the problem. All right. Beck says again, the NDIS was not set up by people who are part of this community. I have autism, ADHD, avoidant, restricted food intake disorder, or Alfred Parts Hypotonia. I haven't heard of that, Beck. But, sending you a lot of love, Beck, because it sounds as though you're doing it tough. We got this one with Hitty. Before NDIS, each state disability service had to close down their services in support of a national scheme. Now government is pushing back to mainstream services. Labor didn't have a long-term plan. Absolutely, Hitty. They didn't have a long-term plan, and they're desperately trying to fix a system that is really needed, but broken. All right, own your own crazy. How about we wait to find out what Thriving Kids is before writing it off? Look, that's a fair point, but they don't know what Thriving Kids is at the moment. So that is, I think, one of the problems. Michael says, we are only just beginning to understand autism, ADHD, and all of the spectrums. Many suffer in silence. Taking away support when it is needed more than ever is counterproductive. Yes, Michael, yes. You are absolutely on the right path there. All right. So that is all, a lot of the NDIS stuff. There's a lot of that. I'll just bring you a few quickies on some other topics we're covering tonight, starting with the dogs and the attack dogs. Gareth says, too many people have dogs, especially in the inner city. It is time to ban them in apartments again. Yeah, very interesting point there. Dylan says, glad I have an adorable and super friendly golden retriever. Me too. Restoration Archive says, do councils still even have dog catchers? Gareth D says, can we please find people for walking dogs off their leash outside of dog parks? Yeah, absolutely. Own Your Crazy says, wow, something crawled up Rob's ass and totally amazing. Yeah, possibly. I will be honest. I've been in a bad mood ever since I saw the National Press Club address today with Mark Butler. It really upset me. So I just think people who are on the NDIS become easy punching bags for a lot of right-wing commentators. Far right-wing commentators. It's just easy, isn't it? Blame people rorting, and everyone has made the point. $1.5 billion in rorting. Yes, fix the rorting. Don't hurt the people who need it. All right. On the idea of thumbs up, Mum says, Lynn McKnight there. What? Thumbs? Dylan says there are a lot of councils that don't have bylaws mandating that dogs are on a leash. Oh, that's a dog one. Restoration Archive says to that lady about the thumbs, only got one thing to say to her, thumbs up. Michael T gives us a whole load of thumbs. Speaker Network, Tariq makes this point, I don't like using the thumbs up emoji. That indicates the end of a conversation for me. See, I've never thought about it like that. I just thought, yeah, I agree with that. Philip on Facebook says, I give a thumbs down to the people that can't cope with a thumbs up. And Restoration Archive says, well, that shows what Rob knows about cybersecurity. I don't understand that one. Hang on. If you get an unknown number, don't speak in your own voice. If they sample enough, they can impersonate you. Is that true? That would indicate that they could just take McKnight tonight, if that's the case. I'm just having a look at this. Oh, Spencer. Hello, Spencer. He says there's a big church shop behind you now. There he is. Yeah, and there he is. There is the trailer. I think I've spent more time on feedback tonight than ever before, but there's a reason for that. I thought the NDIS stuff was really, really important. Thank you for all your feedback. You know I really do appreciate it. So thank you for your feedback. Always appreciate it. And that's what I love about the community we have built here on the YouTube page. So be part of the community. Go to youtube.com, there it is, /@McKnightTonight. That's youtube.com/@McKnightTonight. All right, you are watching McKnight Tonight. Thank you so much for doing so.
It's a different take
Oh my God, she's a Republican. She must be racist.
on the news of the day.
A kid should have the right to punch back against a bully without consequences.
Join Rob McKnight for the home internet streaming show that's very different to the rest.
My BS detector is going through the roof.
Streaming live Monday to Thursday at 9 p.m.
I am so pumped for McKnight tonight.
Subscribe now at youtube.com/@McKnight Tonight.
Okay, well, there's been a dramatic twist in the case surrounding the death of Friends star Matthew Perry. The woman dubbed the ketamine queen, Jasveen Sanger, has agreed to plead guilty, admitting she sold the dose of ketamine that killed him. Court documents reveal Sanger ran a North Hollywood stash house, moving multiple vials of the drug to actors, producers, and the LA party scene. Among them, the very vial Perry used in the hours before he was found dead in his Los Angeles home. She now faces a string of serious charges: distribution, maintaining a drug-involved premises, and distribution resulting in death, a crime that can carry decades behind bars. Sanger is the fifth and final defendant to plead guilty in the Perry case, following deals already struck by two doctors, a drug courier, and Perry's former assistant. Sentencing is expected later this year. I have a major problem with this in that she's been selling drugs for a long time, but nothing happens until an actor dies. The amount of people that have been, well, we said it, 5 people have been arrested and they're, possibly serving time. They're doing deals, plea deals. But other people die from drugs. People buy drugs all the time. But because it was Matthew Perry, the law comes in and it's almost like we have to be seen to be doing something. Well, don't just do it for Matthew Perry if you're going to do it. And I've got nothing against Matthew Perry. I loved him on Friends. I was a fan of his work. But he's not more important than another person who lives in Hollywood that's not famous that has died of drugs. So you either investigate every case equally or you don't go to these lengths. It is funny how they can have the time and resources to find everybody connected with Matthew Perry, but not Jim Smith. And I come back to it. Perry made his own decisions. He was an addict. He was struggling. That Friends reunion was really sad to see him in that. The way his body had deteriorated over time because of the drugs. But no, we have to blame the assistant, who was literally paid by him to be the assistant. And if she hadn't done the job, he would have fired that assistant and got another assistant who would get him the drugs. But no, we have to take it out on that person. It's so unfair, and it just shows the inequality if you've got a bit of fame. Matthew Perry was a great, funny, comedic actor. But his life wasn't more important than anyone else's, despite his fame. So either go all in for everyone or don't go at all, because it's just not fair. So as some of you know, I'm taking part in a remake of Beauty and the Beast. It's called Booty and the Beasts. And it's a great show. You might have seen me talking to Prue McSween about it on Monday's edition of McKnight Tonight. I'm really excited about this show, but a lot of you have had trouble finding the video section. There's been a whole issue. It's been a whole thing, but we're getting on top of it. But I thought I might give some of you a preview of an upcoming episode. So it's a little bit of exclusive content, but we'll also give you a taste tester. So I'm picking a letter and the reaction and giving you a whole segment basically instead of the usual interview we do here. So take a look at Booty and the Beasts. You are watching or listening to Booty and the Beasts, and our next letter is a classic battle of the sexes. Prue, it could only be you. Take it away.
Dear Booties, I want to know, what is it with men? As they get older, they become more like children. They can't make a decision for themselves. They have a boy look when they can't find their glasses, keys or wallet. And they expect to be waited on when they come home from work. And if I get asked what's for dinner after I'd had my own busy day at my job, I want to throw it at him. Don't get me started on their selective hearing issues. I'm sick of telling my bloke something. 10 minutes later, he asks me about the same thing. I'm beginning to think that they're only useful for one thing, and that's putting out the bloody garbage, but only when I nag him to do it. Well, Wendy, I see and hear your frustration, and I think most of the women on this panel would too. We've got to understand that men are really simple. Some would even say, if we can say the word retarded, in their development. And I blame, in fact, the women in their lives, their mothers. So many mothers pander to their little boys and create these inept adults. And sadly, I blame you women who don't raise your sons or have a brain.
This is complete hayes. Prove. I love you.
I'm sorry.
I love you like a grandmother.
Oh, you bastard.
Can I just say, Prue and I are pretty much the same age, just quite a few years difference. Can I just say, I think the problem here is that women expect men to change, right? You marry someone, you fall in love with someone, he's got this boyish charm, he's youthful, he has this energy, but 20 years later, he's still doing the same things, he's still making the same mistakes, and he's still got that energy, he's still singing around the house. I mean, is this frustrated Wendy from Box Hill, or is this Amanda McKnight from the Gold Coast, who's just over there? Because I feel like Amanda could be writing this letter because the things that she used to love about me, she don't love about me these days. Am I on? Is that fair, Lucy?
Look, I've got a different take on this. I'm a stay-at-home mum. I serve my man dinner every night. I wash his clothes. I look after his children, and I take care of our home. I would venture to say that for all of the feminists out there that think that's regressive and taking us back centuries, I'd venture to say that they haven't tried it yet, because I have a very happy life. I'm a happy wife, and I have a great relationship. It's ironic that Wendy's from Box Hill. If she's complaining so much about men, how about you bat for the other team, love? Because this isn't going to change. We know men have we know that they're hopeless when it comes to certain things. And if you're upset about standard or traditional gender roles, then why are you still expecting him to take out the garbage, Wendy? Why don't you do it too, love? And while you're at it, go and build a house and lay the roads that we're all benefiting from, because men have built and laid the pavement. So spare me this nonsense about constantly attacking men. I love mine, and maybe you should try making him a sandwich with a smile, Wendy. It might help you out from time to time.
I really can't imagine what you think of that.
Well, I'm delighted. I am delighted. I feel like I've just experienced my own kind of sociological time travel. I mean, I just dumped this one out of a shoebox that was under her or something.
We do have the old letters from Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, let me just get one thing clear. When a child is conceived in the womb, it is just a blastocyst. It's got no gender. And then somewhere along the line, within the development of that blastocyst...
Sorry, just searching up a blastocyst. What does that mean?
Blastocyst. That is when and it's the first little explosion of life. Let's not get into any debates as to when it becomes life, because quite frankly, that's a whole other episode.
It is.
Somewhere along the line, it gets flushed with hormones, and that little cell, because everything starts off as a female cell, it gets flushed with hormones, and that becomes a male cell, with the amazing results that 49% of all babies born are male, 51% of all babies born are female, and the extra 1% inextricably become real estate agents. That aside, what you need to understand here, Wendy in Box Hill, that I have a solution for you. I think I need to introduce you to Roger in Taramara because the two of you or each other feel that out of two negatives, we've made a positive. Not only that, it's going to be a long distance relationship and you're going to be very happy till the end of time.
Libby and I think alike. I tell you, now I love being single. I lived with someone for 20-something years, 9 shirts I used to iron, picking up the underwear, doing all that crap, cooking. Well, I still cook, but I cook for the neighbours now. They call me Meals on Heels. But anyway, I just love being single. I mean,
Why wouldn't you? You've got a different man each night at that place on the Gold Coast. I've seen.
Excuse me, you're calling me a son.
Oh, much more than that, my darling.
Yeah, no, excuse me. My motto in life is get them, do your bit, and then show them the door.
I think Wendy should be maybe tased or something for elder abuse because there's this line that as we get older, they become more like children. Now, how old are we talking? Because I'm pretty sure once we get above, say, 90 or 95 odd, most of us are going to be a bit more like children, you know.
Oh.
This is pointing towards a very troubling age-related discrimination issue, and I'll be raising this with my friends. Right, you can bet on that.
Well, I'm not 90, Tim, but I reckon I'm still a kid at heart, and that leads to most of the issues in my household. I'll just put it that way. Look, I still laugh, so I don't know about you. So, there is a YouTube page for Booty and the Beasts. If you search for Booty and the Beasts AU on YouTube, I'm going to put a link into the show notes of this episode, so I'll do that tonight so you can come back and have a look. I've still got the church behind us. It's still being moved slowly but surely. But let's take a look at some feedback because this was an interesting one. Restoration Archive was leaving us a little bit early. Good night, Robert, Amanda, and everybody in the channel. And then Restoration Archive suddenly found out that it's not the time to leave yet. He says, oh, wait, there's more. I think the trailer confused you. And regarding the church we've got here, Dylan says, is this the 21st century flat packing from IKEA in the movement of an old church? Own You're Crazy pointed out, Ashcroft House in Hammett was relocated over the railway bridge some 100 metres 20 plus years ago. Power lines had to be brought down and the bridge tested prior to the move. And back on the Matthew Perry story, Own You're Crazy says, the ketamine queen is likely to spend more time in prison than the doctor that dosed Michael Jackson up on his precious milk. Yeah, and I think that's a problem. Restoration Archive says, I think there is a long pattern of police giving special treatment to Hollywood stars. And now we move on to, I'll get this one other one from Michael T. He says, high-profile deaths like Matthew Perry and Michael Jackson get all the resources to prosecute others blamed for their deaths. Even in death, stars in court cases get the red carpet treatment. Now, on the Booty and the Beast preview I just showed you, Restoration Archive says, I sort of feel the show has lost something by them all not being in the same room, not putting it down. Look, it's never going to be the same over the internet as it is in a studio, but obviously there's a lot of cost in that, and we're doing it as an online experiment to begin with. So I still think it comes up pretty well, but obviously you guys will be the judge. Dylan says, is this a daily show now or a sneak peek to next week's episode? It's just a sneak peek, Dylan. I thought I'd give people the chance to see the video version. The downloads on audio have been going great, but I myself would prefer to watch the YouTube version, see the video of it. Dylan says, Meals on Heels, love it. And then, of course, Restoration Archive says, I love that. Might have to use it. Yes, Meals on Heels. Well, thank you for your company tonight on McKnight Tonight as we look at this church, in Kiruna, Sweden. It's the Kiruna Church. Remember, I said it weighs 600 tons, and it's been transported because of the land sinking. So you can see the equipment. Jazz, can you take the live shot? See if we can show. Oh, it's cut. Oh no, you can still see it there with the trailer that it's on. All right. Well, I think it's about time we wrap this sucker up. Thank you for your company on McKnight Tonight. We are back for our Thirsty Thursday or Tipsy Thursday tomorrow. I think I need a drink right now. All right. Have a good night. It's good night from McKnight. See you tomorrow.